I think we've hosted you a couple of times, but it's not quite frequent. But it's good to have you.
Thank you so much. When you said PRO for Youth Employment Agency, I laughed when I even saw the flyer because 3 days ago I wrote something on Facebook, and Osman Ayarga, Deputy National Youth Organizer for the NDC, came and said by 7th I will be called former PRO.
Oh my! I mean, in some instances they'll probably add outgoing PRO. You know, I don't know why.
But it's not supposed to be so. Because
it shouldn't be the case, unfortunately.
There is even a ruling that Mr. Jantua is privy to.
But you all disregard it, don't you?
If you work in the public service and you go through public services interviews and so on, and you so qualify, no one can dismiss you from the service unless you decided to leave yourself. Because I remember it was around this time, after the NDC lost in 2016, that current director legal for NDC, Eduji Tamako, sent the thing to court. He sent it to court for some interpretation, Supreme Court. The interpretation didn't come until 2018 or 2019. Then it came that indeed, even if the person is a CEO of a state agency and even the board, they will have to exhaust all their tenure before you can remove them, so that we can have seamless public service.
I mean, you the politicians, I mean, Isaaku had a security of tenure, right?
Yeah.
Yes. But the two of you...
He resigned. For Isaaku, he resigned.
Whether he was pushed
out.
Can't tell.
For the record, they'll tell you he resigned. But we know what the two political parties do.
But now let me take this opportunity to invite the MPP to opposition.
Officially.
They are now in opposition with us.
I will be meeting him after we lost.
Welcome to opposition. It's a hard place to be, but
that's true.
It is something that...
For God and country.
Yes, for God and country. It's a very hard place to be, opposition.
All right. Let's rewind a little bit. Yes, last week we talked about, the outcome of the elections and all. But because I'm hosting you here for, I think, the first time from my side, I would like to, interestingly, our colors are seemingly marching in your Batakari.
Yes.
I wanted to find, no, it's not Bubu, it is Batakari. For the NPP, how are you taking this loss?
It's painful, especially looking at the gap and the parliamentary seat. Today, if you ask me how many parliamentary seats do we have, I may not be able to even say it. And this is a monumental loss. From 1992, this is the only time that you can say that NDC has been whacked. And it's painful.
MPP has been whipped, or
yes.
Okay.
You understand? If I should choose that word, yes. And you look at the apathy and a whole lot of things. You may not say that those who didn't vote were all MPP. There are a lot of people who didn't vote, but they are not MPP. But we know, honesty, that a lot of people didn't vote. So it means we're doing a lot of things. Projects don't really win elections in this country, as we all say, because if you check what we have been able to do, looking at the health sector, where I come from, the Zongo, the projects that we had done, these are unprecedented projects, but unfortunately, it didn't resonate with the people. So they decided that they are voting for change, looking at what former President Mahama has proposed and so on. So I think this is the brighter time for us to do a reflection, look at our own strongholds, especially the Ashanti and Eastern. Ashanti even did well compared to other regions, because you see, in 2020, Ashanti gave us 1.7 million votes in terms of the nominal numbers. And in 2024, it is only 400,000 people that didn't vote. So even if Ashanti had gone all out to vote, we'll still have lost, because if you check the gap, yes, 1.6 million. So even if Ashanti had voted and had even added 600,000 to our votes, the 1.3 vote, even if you had gotten 2 million from Ashanti region, we still have lost. Because if you go to Volta region, for instance, we're doing 100,000 plus. We came down to around 50,000. It means we're decimated by half. So I think it's something that we'll all have to take it in good faith. I don't want any blame from anyone. We all have to blame ourselves. I remember I put something on social media and someone came there and said, I was one of the reasons we lost. I said, how? He said, you were communicating with, with arrogance. I said, okay, well, we'll do introspection and see whether indeed we're doing that so that we can organize ourselves, come together. I know that there is a committee that will be set up in the coming days because since 1992, anytime we lose any elections or win, we set up committees. And in 1992, the committee came up with the stolen verdict. That's the only document that is out. The rest of the documents are shelved. We use it internally. 2008, when we lost like this, we had the Hansen committee that recommended the opening up of the delegate system, and that was the reason we moved from 1 to 5. So I'm sure this one too will come. A lot of people are saying a lot of things about the delegate system. Let's abolish the delegate system. Let's do all these things. I think if the committee comes to you in your constituency and they are,
make those suggestions,
you can give all these suggestions so that they put it together. Then we will come and get to the drawing board, look at how we'll be able to really mobilize our own people, energize them, and come back stronger. Fortunately, we have seen that we've lost it monumentally. So it is easier for you to really be able to really come up quickly, reorganize. What will help us is that if we are able to organize well, how we are able to rebuild our party within this period will determine whether we win 2028 elections, because the elections in Ghana now do not have any formula.
Absolutely.
Because if you have 5.7 million people, about 18% of the population benefiting from free senior high school direct, those who benefited direct, and if you add their parents, about 57% of the population benefiting directly from these interventions. Hospitals in Ashanti region, for instance, we've built about 5-6 hospitals that are complete, about 17 at various stages of completion. If you go to almost all the district capitals, we've done asphalt. Where I come from, if you go there, even the Zongo is asphalt. But unfortunately, Ghanaians really did not look at all these things and voted us out. So it is the best time for us to go back, check what went wrong, and come up stronger. I beg my people, the internal bickering, the name calling and so on will not help us, because we will all have to take the blame and look at the way forward. 48 months is just around the corner. By next year around this time, we'll start with our polling station elections. Next year in December, polling station elections. By March, we'll do the constituency. By June, the national will come. Then by December, we'll have a flag bearer, because in opposition, 2 clear years before the elections, we'll have a flag bearer. NDC do not have a flag bearer now, because there is no indication who will be their flag bearer, because former President Mahama is in his final term, unless he changes the constitution to be a lifetime president.
Well, as of now, there is no indication, and I don't think that that's something Ghanaians would support, right?
Yes. It will go through referendum, yes or no. But you see, referendums are always rigged.
Really?
Yes.
Would you say that that's what was done for the 16 regions?
Justice J.F. Annan had to
it cannot be the
run
case.
away from.
It cannot be the case. so yes, Mr. Jantua, you've heard Mutala, right? He says that. Sorry, forgive me. I'm calling my colleague's name.
Yes.
You've heard him. He's outlined the many things, a myriad of things that government had done. Yet the citizenry or the voters chose the NDC over the NPP, and he acknowledges that the defeat is monumental, and so it will cause them to do a serious introspection. Now, I saw you observing him quietly. What do you want to say in response to that?
Good morning to our listeners and our viewers. This, I don't know whether I should call it an adage, but this argument they make that the MPP voters did not come out to vote. Research that has been done doesn't show so. Research that has been done shows that only 63% of those who voted for Nanado voted for Dr. Baumia. And out of that, 29% voted for President Mahama.
Who did that research?
There was
Who's the
Musa
that
Dankwa.
Okay. Now he has the bragging rights. So
From Musa Dankwa's research.
Mm.
And even with free SHS, there were certain components, and from the word go, I thought using free SHS as the main argument of their campaign was wrong.
The pillar of their campaign.
Yes, that was wrong. Because there are two strands to free SHS. The first strand are those who would hail the free bit of the free SHS.
Mm.
And most of those people were in the rural areas. But those in the urban areas, although they saw the free education as a good thing, were looking at the quality of education. And what did they use to measure? They used the fact that they now had to take extra tuition for their children because the quality that was given in the schools was not up to scratch. The unfortunate thing is that MPP weren't listening. Of all the things we said, and this is where the challenge is, and I hope the NDC don't also do the same. That when we come and sit on platforms like this, and we outline and pinpoint some things that aren't going right, don't take it as a criticism. Take it as advice. Is that what the people are thinking? Is that what it is? Okay, what can we do to change it? Because you said monumental.
Yeah, he said, he described it as a monomental.
How should we
loss.
describe it?
Some say it's an annihilation.
Yes, and cataclysmic, volcanic, earthquake, eruption, tsunami, because you wouldn't have expected it of the MPP. And maybe, with hindsight, and it's only through hindsight that you can deduce certain things. Maybe my own relative Chemate should have stayed. Should have stayed.
Yeah, it affected. That's part of the party.
Should have stayed.
But
Because right now, if he was in the party, straight leader.
Are you sure?
Yes. There's definitely going to be a power struggle. Definitely going to be a power struggle in the MPP. Definitely. I can see it coming. The different factions in there are going to fight. If they don't, then it will be a good thing. If they still have confidence in Vice President Baumia, then they can all,
Rally-
if I can use the
rally
word,
around him.
yeah, when we say rally, coagulate round him
Okay.
and build him up if they can. But definitely, I'm sure there are some hawks in there. And you see, the thing with the MPP is that they've got potential to be leaders. Quite a number of people who have the potential to be leaders of the party in there. Will this potential be prepared to do a Kwame Nkrumah? Where we would say, or prepared to do a Liman? Where we would say, irrespective, you go. Liman, who was Liman? Liman came from nowhere. Nobody knew Liman. But because the party was strong, its organization was strong, Liman came and won an election. If they are going to follow a path like that, then yes. The one thing I feel the MPP should start doing, and should start doing today, which I see they are not doing, start building confidence with the people again. With such a huge defeat, you need to start building confidence. And don't make the people feel that you are still arrogant and don't care about them. Because you can see it's still there. I mean, what's happening in Parliament is a clear example of people say, but if you don't they ever learn? don't they ever learn? Because there needs to be a bill to be passed, if for nothing at all, in the next parliament, irrespective of the fact that the MPP have lower numbers, you can still negotiate.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is you want to do now that you are not doing now, you can still negotiate. Parliament is a house of what? Consensus. The one thing this election has done now, which it has proven to everybody, which the MPP made a grave mistake in doing, that there's no more 8 years. 4 years, everybody. And if you look at Vice President Bamia's campaign, he even said it. Mahama, 4 years, me 8 years. They were campaigning on an 8-year rule. That 8 years is no more. That 8 years is now gone through the window. And so, I welcome them into opposition with us. Let's try as much as possible, because Ghanaians have spoken. And what Ghanaians are looking for is to build a nation called Ghana. Ghanaians aren't looking for to build a political party. Let them try. Let us all try and build this nation called Ghana, irrespective. President Akufo-Addo, he checked out ages ago. He's checked out ages ago. So whatever is happening, really and truly, he's going. So it's not much. But it can have an effect on his party. We need to see situations where the parties are working for the benefit of the people. And even to the NDC, they should take this win as the people's win. A people's win that they are working with. A people's win that have given them the power to do the right things by the people. Because the people, you see, now, the people spoke 2020. The MPP didn't listen to that and watch that. Number one, they cut their majority into half. Didn't they? President Akufo-Addo got 500 instead of nearly 1 million as he got in 2016. That was the first one. Number two, they made sure that Parliament was balanced. The people were telling us something. At that time, the MPP should have looked at this and asked the question, why this? What has gone wrong? That we had our ratings halved and Parliament 137. Why? What are the reasons? And then gone inside to look at it. If they had done that introspection properly, they might have been able to read this election. However, this election, I don't think anybody could read this election. And it goes to show you the sophistication of the Ghanaian in voting at this present moment. Look, the one thing we should never take for granted with the Ghanaian is very simple.
Yes. They won't talk much.
They say it once, they say it twice, then they say, You've got to watch it. You've got to watch it. Because now, 2028, if CPP and then Nkrumah get themselves together, they can win an election. If Cheddar gets himself together, he can win an election. If Chamatin's movement puts itself together, can win. Anybody can win an election in Ghana today from the results of this. Whether you get a majority or you don't get a majority, you've got to work for the rights of the people. And one thing, let me end on this. One thing I hear the president-elect saying, he's harping on the fact that, look, we should be very mindful and careful. This is a people's vote. It depends on the kind of people he also decides to take on board and the mindset of those people. If those people are there to come in and do their own bidding, rule the one who that the MPP were doing, sit in big 4-wheel drives and stample on the people, then President Mahama is in for a huge challenge. Because really and truly, the challenge is huge.
Yes.
Look, President Mahama would have to, in 2025, 2026, he would have to find over $180 million to pay debts. What is the country's revenue that is coming in? It's about 150. That balance, where is it going to come from? We've got to be able to work together, because it is Ghana, the country that we should all work towards, and not a certain part of the country. So I even employ that the MPP, because they've been in power for 8 years, those loopholes that they have seen that can help the country move into a different dimension in terms of building this nation, they should all contribute.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jantua. We've enjoyed. Okay, let me quickly introduce Mr. Alifo. We've been joined by Eric Alifo Esquire. He is a member of the NDC communication team. Good to have you.
Thank you.
And
seeing you after the sweet victory.
I see that you have your.
I see you're also going to court today.
Yes. I have to go to court to support our guys to stop the Electoral Commission from doing what is illegal. And from the determination right from the onset to cheat or to manipulate these results for MPP was there. We saw it all through. We fought it right from day one, right from the time of registration. And we're watching everything. Anytime you caught them, they will tell you it's a mistake. If it is about the numbers, they will tell you we're using Corel Draw. If it is this, every time they were giving excuses. And so this election was peaceful, not because the Electoral Commission managed it well, but because the people were very vigilant, very, very vigilant. And I was very much involved, dig nap in the elections. I was at the collation center. I trained agents. I moved around polling stations, and I know for sure that it was due to the vigilance of the Ghanaian people that ensured that there was peace. And there's going to be peace throughout. So we are not going to allow the Electoral Commission to mar the end of it when we ensure that it was peaceful so far, orderly so far. And they now cannot do anything illegal to recollect and cheat us and collect some seats as they did in 2024. The NPP is not going to happen. So we are going to go to court and make sure that that doesn't happen.
Now, this is an issue we will be exploring right after I'm done congratulating you, and then also ask you how you are feeling. We've heard from you. Unfortunately, we're not here when your counterpart was speaking. He acknowledges that the defeat was monumental, and it will is something that should cause the NPP to do an introspection. But first of all, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling very good, very, very good, and I can understand them but they shouldn't just be talking about introspection. Because they were all over the place, touting their virtues all along during the campaign period. And you didn't say, and my friend Hawal, I listened to him over and over and over again. Does that mean at that time he wasn't seeing what Ghanaians are saying?
He subdued.
Yes. Yeah, they were blind, purposefully blind, and so they were not seeing the reality. And if you told them at that time, they would tell you, no, and they would say all kinds of things. So they are now humbled, and I can see that they are humbled, and I believe that they'll be humble for the next 4 years and beyond. Because, well, if the rot now begins to emerge and people will see what they have done for the 8 years, it's going to be very terrible for them. So clearly, like I said earlier, we put in a lot. We didn't think that this election was going to be fair, and because of that, we prepared for it. In fact, when we were preparing, we started training our agents from August. In all previous elections, when it was about 1 week to election, that's when people ran to the areas to go and train the polling agents. But this time around, we started from August. We trained them. We conducted exams for them. I trained in trained polling agents in 3 constituencies, Adansia Sukwa, then I went to Upper Manyakrobo, then I trained in Adan. So when I was coming here, I was doing that as well, running 10 days here, 15 days here, 16 days here. We trained them all along, conducted exams for them, retrained them, and so they were very prepared. So although, when they are telling us that about 2 million of their people did not come out to vote, it's not true. It's not true, because you see, if they were able to put in about the 500,000 or more to 1 million ballot papers, tamperated ballot paper, then it would have meant that those 500,000 or more that they would have put in, they would say that those people had voted actually.
Are you talking about the report from the Ashanti region?
Yes, and we know they do it all the time. I am saying that, look, because I was involved, one thing I kept telling my agents all the time was that in Ashanti region, for instance, that's where I was during the elections. One thing I kept telling them all the time was that the votes that NDC got in all previous elections in Ashanti region, they didn't have the full benefit of the votes. They never declared the full votes for us, and they always padded MPP's votes. So it means that they always get more. In fact, when you go to Cabre East, for instance, sometimes they vote even over 100%. More than the people on the register. They do it. It does happen. It does happen. You tell me, we have data. So I'm saying that they always under-declare our votes, and then they over-declare theirs. And I said, for the first time this election, we are going to make sure that the real votes count, the real votes, the votes. And so they were not able to. And one thing that I was so overjoyed about was that when I moved around the polling stations, you realize that when the people voted, they didn't leave. They were there. The youth were there, in Ashanti region particularly, because they all had this mentality that somebody was coming to steal. They knew that they were always stealing. You see, that because what else would make them to remain at the polling station? Because they wanted to see everything. In fact, I got to a place, I can't speak to you very well, you know. I got to a place and I was moving with one of the trainers, and I tried to put my tree in, and they were laughing at me. I said, I just wanted him to find out if these guys are here because of MPP or because of us, because of NDC. So he went and spoke to them, and he realized that they were there because of us. They were there to make sure that nobody would come and steal anything over there. They were so aggressive, you know. And eventually, I worked in a constituency where we had never won. That is Adansia Sokwa. Yes, and so we are next. How did you know? How did you know that's where I was?
No, you mentioned.
Okay, yes. So that's where I was during another coalition. And again, let me put this in quickly, though that would also come. Anytime you see the election officials, the EC officials delaying in declaring the results, they are creating room for manipulation. That's what happens. I was there. I am saying that I was there. You see, so anytime because look, we have.
Is that always the case?
Yes,
or
it is.
There
because
are
I don't know what
where
else.
there is a genuine concern.
No, because
where they want it resolved.
No, because you see, the pink sheets are given to us by the election officials.
Okay.
It's the officials. So if they give us the pink sheets, they should have the pink sheets also. And when I got to the collation center, for instance, I got to the collation center around 9 p.m. or so. We had all our pink sheets, and we had finished collecting our results. And I saw almost all the presiding officers there. If they were waiting for a couple more presiding officers, well, we would understand that, well, the presiding officers from 1, 2, 3, 4 polling stations are not here. I, for instance, drove some of the election officials, the presiding officers, and I drove them in my car to the collation center. Yeah, when we were finished, and there was no problem with that.
When you were done?
Yes, after everything was counted, they filled the pink sheets and all of that. They didn't have a vehicle to move them, and I said, yeah, I'm prepared to go with you. So I cut them to the collation center. So when all of them were there, all the pink sheets were there, there should be nothing more that would delay the collation of the results. And yet they will sit down and they will be going around, like my place, for instance, the returning officer, when I confronted him 2 times, said he was waiting for his deputies. Meanwhile, the day before, I was in their office. I was there also for the special voting, so I saw all of them. And then the day before I was in the office, we sorted all the ballots into the ballot boxes and all of that. And so I saw the people over there, and I knew that there was nobody else in that office that was not at the collation center. So everything was set for them to start collecting. And yet, they were sitting down, and then they were fidgeting with I was quarreling all over the place with them. I was telling them that, hey, you people, look, it's time. Just go ahead. And at that time, then I saw Katie Hammond himself came in. First, he sent a lawyer. A lawyer came in first, and he came to go and talk to them, protesting that there was one ballot box that they couldn't find. Later on, they came again. They said they couldn't find 25 of their pink sheets and all of that. So you see, that period when they are not collecting and everybody is there, that is when they do the things. You see, so when you see the youth amass, you see people will be questioning that why did the youth go to the collection center? It is because those people are coming from the various polling stations. Okay. They have seen the results at those places, and they didn't understand why the returning officer will not collect and declare the results, and that's why they come there, because the mentality that they will cheat is there. And that one you have to blame it on the EC, because they created all that situation with all the NPP operatives and the commission.
But beyond there was a statement, from your party asking people to go to the various collection
Yes,
centers.
that is what I'm telling you. That statement was appropriate. I am telling you that, you see, there's nothing wrong. You see, people always want us to feel that, why would you tell them that? It means you don't trust. We really don't trust the EC, and we are not scared of saying so. I don't trust the EC because there are MPP operatives over there. And I'm saying that right from the onset, right from the registration, we were challenging them on things. Anytime we call them, they would say that. So we have to be vigilant.
And the EC, like I said, we'll come to this issue in detail. The EC has complained.
Yes.
I mean, in the presser yesterday, they talked about how supporters besieging collation centers, really
because they refused to collate on time.
Really impacted the collation process.
If it does, then
Some
they are
of their
incompetent.
officers were attacked, and they said that the police also did not protect them. Nadede,
let me tell you this. I am not going to feel guilty about that. Nobody should tell me that because we asked our supporters to besiege or to go to the collation
did it not
center.
aggravate the situation?
It should. Well, if it has to, it should. Because I'm saying that if they didn't go, they will cheat. We have seen it before. That's the point. The point I'm making is that you see, you people are not appreciating this point, so they should sit home so that they cheat us and then they tell us I'll go to court. No, and I'm telling you that this election, we won this election by the vigilance of the people. If the people were not at the police station, like how Awal and others who brought us to believe that we shouldn't tell them to remain at the police station, they shouldn't go to, they would have cheated us. We would have been here today telling us that go to court. There's everything is perfect. Nothing is perfect at the EC.
All right.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
And I'll stand by that every time. Nothing is perfect at the even now, they are still trying to cheat.
Okay, we'll come to that. We'll come to that issue.
Yes.
While you wanted to make a quick response.
Yes, thank you so much. I think what Ofajantua said about the post by Musa Dankwa, that it is not entirely correct that our people, is not our people that didn't go and vote. I think we are speaking to data and not really perception or polls.
It was the data.
When you
exit poll.
I'm coming. Not the exit poll. This is something that someone has said, but we have the register. Before the elections, we did an exercise. In the exercise, we gave every polling station their register. They marked people who are MPP. They marked people who are NDC. They marked people they don't know their political affiliation. I worked within the Asawase constituency. We did all these things. After doing that, just after losing the elections, we know those who didn't go and vote, because when people vote, we mark. Our polling agents mark. So that is the reason Dr. Baumia said 2.1 million of our people didn't vote. We're speaking to a data that we have because we know those who didn't vote. When you listen
can I ask a quick question?
Oh, when you were talking, I wanted
I just wanted to ask you a question.
No, don't ask me. Write it so that at least after that.
Okay.
So we went to him. If you listen to Dr. Baumia carefully, he said, we know those who stayed out. We know them in person. And
they
it
do
will
not
be
exist.
easier
Most of
for
them do not
us
exist.
to go there and do it.
They don't exist, most of them.
When my friend said that usually in Ashanti region we pad votes and so on. I am from Ashanti region. I have voted in Ashanti region all my life. I've lived there all my life. And I go there every weekend. So I know Ashanti region very well. In Asawasi, for instance, in 2020, NDC had 47,000 votes. In 2024, they had 43,000. So where is the 3,000? You are also padding votes. You don't do that.
No.
Were you also adding votes?
No.
Did you add votes?
But then there was general apathy too.
No, I'm saying that. Did you? But he didn't attribute it to apathy. He said that votes that were supposed to be
supposedly for the
exactly
NDP,
the numbers that come from
we couldn't add the numbers that we used to add, and that's the reason we did. That's why I'm asking him. In Asawasi constituency, when they had 47 and came down to 43, were they also adding votes? You see, you've won the elections, so definitely you have the bragging rights and say that
we
you
shall
won the
brag.
elections. But I am
much.
surprised that as a lawyer sitting here will tell me that if the EC is delaying, if the EC is delaying in collating, they are not the only people who do the collation. The collation is done in concert with all political parties. You all have your reps there. The only option for the NDC to do is to send their goons there to go and destroy and burn down even a school.
No, nobody is talking about burning down.
Why do you invite them?
No, but yeah, I'm saying.
Why will you invite them?
But putting pressure doesn't mean that people should burn down.
The school, for instance, that has been torched. As of now, we do not know the
I only mentioned one instance.
Okay.
The other instances, he sat here to confirm that they asked their people to go there. Is that the solution in this country?
What is wrong with
As a
that?
lawyer,
What is wrong with that?
That is wrong because
Why?
the collation center, even you,
Uh-huh.
will not be allowed in any collation center without without accreditation.
The people don't enter the collation center itself. At my place,
So
they were
why would
outside,
you-
but
you
they
see-
have to
you
be.
see,
They have to be
Atepa-
around.
At Tepa, you invited them.
Yes.
They bent down a car.
Because he was
Bent
trying
down.
to steal.
Yes,
He was trying to steal for you.
Steal for who?
I'm telling you that they were trying to steal for you.
So did you really take
Like,
part?
can you
I'm
let
So he was
asking
asking me questions.
If
He
he
was asking
really,
me questions.
if he
I'll
really
answer straight
took
away.
part in what he's telling us, that he took part in the elections, because you see, at the polling station, before the votes, before the ballot papers and the entire pink sheet is sent to the collation center, what is done is that every political party rep has a copy of the pink sheet that will be sent to your party office
Yes.
before this one goes there.
Yes, you're right.
Even if the entire place is raised down,
Yes,
even if the EC decides to even declare for anyone,
yes.
you will have to append your signature before it validates it. You understand? You don't need your agent to go there and make noise to make sure that the person writes. Because if the
Yeah.
MPP person says he will not sign, it doesn't
You are
validate
telling
what
us
they
what
are
is on paper. I'm telling
You
you,
understand? It
there are
doesn't
fake,
validate
there are
it.
fake pink sheets over there.
understand?
They introduce them and then you are
That is
holding the genuine and they tell you go to
that
court.
is the reason you are giving.
I'm telling you that
is the
vigilance
reason-
is what works
No.
for us. So don't pretend that what is on paper, what is in the CI works perfectly like that. No, people put pressure
So
for
as a
it to
lawyer,
work
you
well.
think the
Because
law
we
is
have
blind?
fake pink sheets in the system. Don't you know that? Are you telling me you don't know there are fake pink sheets?
So
what I'm
you'd
saying,
have
Yeah.
what I'm saying
Yeah,
is
so
that-
it shouldn't
what I'm
be
saying is
misleading
that
anybody here.
If a lawyer is telling us that
Uh-huh.
they think the best thing, the best option, if
Yes.
they suspect,
Yes.
even though they have their people
Yes.
in there,
Yes.
and it is not valid until their people validate it.
Which people validated? Don't
Your
attribute
reps,
things
your
to me
reps,
that I've
your
not
reps,
said.
your reps, your
Uh-huh.
reps in the collation
So
center.
if they don't
will-
validate it, what will happen? You tell us to go to
So
court.
can-
No, not go to court.
So-
He can't declare.
so kindly- kindly-
The person-
They will
kindly-
declare.
kindly-
We have seen all this
He's-
before.
he's
my friend.
distracted.
your microphone.
I'm
So
not gonna
kindly,
allow him to-
a moment,
to
a
tell us
moment.
that the system
We're
is
having a
perfect.
A moment.
discussion.
Yes, the
So,
system is not
while
perfect.
this is what I'm going to do. You have a minute to
Okay,
just
go
wrap
ahead.
up on this
Go ahead.
response, and then right after that, you speak to the Electoral Commission as decision not to uphold. The presser yesterday says that it will not uphold the results from 9 constituencies, and it cites incomplete coalition, and in some instances, their officers, declaring the results under duress. So wrap up on your point, and then you can tackle on tackle that. I'll get a response from him in relation to the EC, and then I'll go to Mr. Janjua.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that when you have your supporters coming there, what Dr. Baumia foresaw is the reason he came out to
Concede early.
early, so that no
He lost.
one will be somewhere. Former President Mahama lost in 2016.
He was going to
It
challenge
took
the
him-
results. It was
took
so
him
close.
4 days.
No,
2016.
we didn't believe we lost.
2016.
We didn't believe we lost.
2016 or 2020?
2016. I'm talking about 2016. When he lost, after the EC's declaration, it took him 4 days to come out
And
to
he
even
told us that
accept.
we're not able to even collect our results.
I'm
So
saying
so
that-
within the 4
Oh.
days we're not able to collect.
see,
So we didn't know that
I
we
don't know
lost.
Please
how
let him
we'll
finish.
have this
Okay,
discussion with
okay.
him.
Please, can he
interjecting
finish?
I will
overly.
go.
Can he conclude?
It's because
What
I
I'm
know you
saying
so
is-
well. So if I'm not punching holes
Wow.
in the arguments you are making,
Wow.
okay, go ahead. Go ahead. I will go ahead.
What I'm saying is
Oh,
that
goodness.
Dr. Baumia saw that our party people, at least if you give them the confidence that we're winning, there may be clashes and so on. To forestall all these things, we saw, because we're collating polling station by polling station, by 11:30 we're able to collate over 20,000 polling stations across the country out of the 40-something thousand. But the result that came were from our strongholds, and we saw that looking at the margins, if Volta and other regions come, there's no way we'll be able to win the election. So in the morning, he came out to declare that indeed he called former President Mahama and said that we have lost the elections. The EC cannot go ahead to declare the results because the EC will have to get every pink sheet, every constituency intact. That is the reason they said within 72 hours. After that, you saw the NDC putting pressure on the EC to come out when the EC had not even collated a single region. Because at that time, there was no region that has been certified by the EC. And they demystify the stronghold by sending the stronghold in the regions. You have your reps there. The reps will come, certify, sign before it is pushed to the headquarters for them.
I need you to wrap up on this.
Yes, I'm zooming into this one. So when Dr. Bawumia did that, there are places that the NDC, even though they had conceded defeat, when they heard that, they came out to say, then their MP2 won. For instance, in Pandai, for the first time in the history of Pandai since 1992, we've never won that constituency presidential. Yindam has been coming to parliament twice with skirt and blouse. For the first time, we won both presidential and parliamentary. Our people were out. When Dr. Bawumia made the concession speech, our people went in, and the NDC people came out, and they started vandalizing that. Then Yindam even didn't win. You see what happened. So people were even saying that why Dr. Bawumia was ahead of himself, because if we had waited for all the parliamentary seats declared before he even considered, that would have helped us. Look at if you go to Okankwe Central, I was surprised when Baba Sadiq was standing there at the EC. There is a video to that. The EC, I saw it even on Starr FM. There is a video. The man is saying that I am declaring you winner, minus 31 polling stations. 31 polling stations. And the person is happy that he has been a winner.
You know, but,
so what
but
happens
then
when
again,
it's not possible that can that not happen?
So then the EC,
if you know the 31,
so
he didn't
the
say
EC,
that one. He
so
didn't say that.
so the EC at the press conference yesterday mentioned something to that effect, that the declaration was done minus a number of constituencies. I think 31. No, but then again, why would that be done unless if the EC pair the numbers that come from those constituencies, if they say that even if we add all to this candidate, the person may not win. He didn't say that.
He didn't say that.
He has to say that.
It is presumed. No,
not to presumption.
If you are,
Not presumption.
Why can't you presume that?
So let him finish. I'll come to you. Okay. All right. So
Yeah,
note down. Just
I
note
don't
down.
have then. I need pen and paper because I need to. All right. Okay. Just
So I'm
right.
saying
Okay,
that.
don't worry.
I'm saying that even if Arijan had done it before,
Okay.
that if you put everything together, the numbers are this. If you push the rest of the vote to this candidate, it will still not make any impact.
Jean said the same thing with this declaration.
She said same. With 9 constituencies, she said, even if you push the entire vote in 9 constituencies to Dr. Bawumia, he will still not be able to win. That is the reason they declared that.
Okay.
But in the instance of Akwaeke Central, he didn't even mention that. He only said that I am declaring on 68 constituency polling stations, minus 31 polling stations. And these are the numbers, and he mentioned the numbers. If you go to Tema Central, the EC official didn't even mention numbers. He only said, I declare you winner. He only declared if you write winner. He only said, I declare you winner. He didn't even mention.
Okay.
And the official who did that is not even from Tema Central. That is the official from Tema West. So the EC is saying that, come for recollation. Because they did not declare it in accordance with the law.
Okay.
So a recollation is the best option. We all agreed. We came to Tesano because we saw that the NDC, him here admitted that indeed they had called their supporters to mass up go and do distraction in these coalition centers. They felt that their staff are not safe. So they said, let's do it at Tesano. They came to Tesano. NDC led by the famous Alfred Wyoming. He said that they should only declare for them or their supporters are out there massing up. I saw this on TV because it was live on TV. Now they did a coalition of three constituencies.
The recollation or the coalition?
Recollation of 3, not recollation because the coalition were not complete.
Okay, that's a
in Akwatia, it was not complete when the distraction came and they bent the place. Fantiakon the same thing, it was not complete. So it was not recollation. It was just the continuation of the collation of the register.
All right. The commission says there are 2 instances. Incomplete coalition.
Exactly.
And in instances where
so in the 3 instances, they were incomplete.
Okay.
They sat down. After back and forth, the NDC admitted that we won Akwatia, we won Fantia Kwanov, we won Suhum, and they signed. When they saw Nsawoma Dojiri 2 was clear, It was left with only 3 polling stations. And even with that, Anodompe had won. Then they said, let's push it to tomorrow morning so that we do that. Then you had a rowdy basintelist writing on his Facebook page that everyone should meet them at their Tesano. So what do the police do? The police will be overwhelmed, even though we have 47,000 police officers in this country. But when the civilians start throwing stones and so on, we saw it in Tachima South in 2020. When they massed up there, they were throwing stones at the police and the military people. We didn't know what happened. And the military shot them. 2 people died, unfortunately. So they saw that and they said, let's defer it to follow morning. The NDC is now saying that no, go to court, because there are a lot of instances in this country. If the person is sworn in as the parliamentary candidate, it will be difficult for the person to really get out of parliament. Because
but they've expedited the process, so it's supposed to be heard within a short time.
Yes.
Just like how they stipulated a time for the presidential.
No, for the parliamentary, there is no time frame.
There isn't a time frame?
No, there's no time frame.
Okay.
That is the problem. So you see, Rebecca Adote in Iowa West Wagon, she lost the elections. It was wrongfully declared for her. They went to court. Just some few weeks to the end of the tenure of the parliament of that parliament, it was declared that Amo had won, and he couldn't go to parliament.
And in fact, it is one
Exactly.
of the cases that is cited with regard to what the EC is doing at the moment.
Exactly.
That
So,
once the declaration is done, it moves away from the Electoral Commission. It goes to the court.
No, if there is a wrongful declaration, a recollection is done. In the case of Puru West, the man wrongfully declared the MPP candidate as a winner in 2004.
Okay.
They said no. The NDC said no. What they have from the pink sheets they have won the elections with a higher margin. Then it was agreed. Afarijan sent them to Sunyani, and recollation was done in Sunyani. And the NDC candidate, 2004, and the NDC candidate was declared winner. Dr. Kwabena Donkor.
Instead of going to the court.
Instead of going to no, you see, the process had not been it was not completed.
Okay.
You understand? So when he wrongfully declared our candidate, they said no. They went to that, and we're in government, but they went to Sunyani. They put the pink sheets together. After putting the pink sheets together, they felt that indeed the NDC man had won, and he was declared in Sunyani. If the NDC is really sure that they have won all the 9 constituencies, if they are sure they have the pink sheets to point to the fact that they have won all this, why are they running away from the coalition? The thing is that if you go there, you bring your pink sheets, because we all have scanned pink sheets on our laptops. We'll bring ours, they will bring theirs, we juxtapose it with what the EC has. Then you know. So the NDC had clearly lost this 9 seats. But unfortunately, all the 9, I'm telling you, all the 9. They've lost all the 9. It's the reason when we started the coalition, we started with the 3, we entered the 4th one, they decided to disrupt it.
But you know that for instance, Dom Kwabenya, it was done at the regional headquarters, right? No, it was declared at the grounds.
Yes.
And then they came to the regional headquarters.
It was Ablekumanov that came to.
Sorry, Ablekumanov and then Okankwe Central.
Yes.
If I recall correctly, Okankwe Central. I recall seeing on video at the regional coalition center where Baba Sadiq was still declared the winner.
No, it was not done there. It was done.
No,
it was only Ablekumanov that was done here.
No,
it was only Ablekumanov that was done here. That one was done in that constituency where Baba Sadiq was declared.
No, they came.
How do you declare Baba Sadiq with inadequate polling stations? With less than 31.
Let me just conclude. So I'm saying that we covered Okankwe Central at the regional coalition center.
No.
And Baba Sadiq was declared winner.
How did he declare him? The only declaration was once. And he used 68 polling stations out of 31.
I'm saying that they came here to the regional coalition center. It was done.
So what is the NDC afraid of?
So right now,
if they have the
polling, I'll answer that. I hope you are coming straight to me from there.
So I'm saying that if the NDC have all the collated results that says that they have won, do you need to mass up your people there to go and make noise?
Yes,
to win.
Because you will cheat.
So who will cheat when it's live on TV?
So
how will that? GH1 was there covering it live. People are seeing it. Everything. The 3 that was declared for us.
We've seen all that before.
You signed Alfred Woyomi that you sent there. He signed. And your people,
For the three,
they signed.
Okay.
So after signing, they saw that the rest they will lose because they have the pink sheet.
And then
that's the reason they are now saying that they will not go for coalition.
Why?
If you know that you have won, what are you afraid?
So for you, you don't find anything wrong with what the Electoral Commission has said,
But
that
the Electoral
they would
Commission
not
is working
recognize
with the law, and you cannot force someone, even the law. He's a lawyer.
Okay.
If I am forced under duress to say something, I can change my mouth anyway.
Okay.
If it is under duress,
But they say that
it's
it's
glaring.
in the position of the Electoral Commission to determine what duress is. Is that not supposed to be adduced in court in terms of evidence for the courts?
You
for
see,
the judges to
the officer
determine?
in charge wrote to you and told you that, and wrote to his superiors and told them that there was gun on his on his head.
Gun?
Listen, what I recall is she said an axe.
Axe.
An axe. I
An
don't know
axe.
about that.
Yes,
Okay.
he said there was an axe.
So if we get
So let's do recollection.
So if
That's
you have more,
You have your
arrows,
pink sheet.
If we have
Alright.
more
you have
returning
duplicate
officers,
pink sheet.
Okay.
if we have more
do
returning
this.
officers now writing
Now
to
let
the
me
yes.
let me go to you, Mr.
Okay, yes. So
Ali.
first of all, you see, let me.
The
let me
AC
start.
says that. So your opponent believes that they have won all the 9 seats, and knowing that you have lost them, that is why you are seeking to
That-
put impediments in the way of the Electoral Commission.
That cannot be true. That cannot be true. But what I would do is to respond to the issues Awa spoke about. By the time I finish, that would answer why the recollection is not. In fact, first of all, he even mentioned the recollection that was done
In 2004.
In 2000, yes. But he should also remember that the CI that was used at that time is different from the CI
that
we
is
are
being
using
used
now.
now.
The CI 127 doesn't talk about recollection.
Recollection,
In fact,
okay.
as a matter of fact, Techiman South, when we wrote to the EC in 2020 for them to recollect the results, the response of the chairperson of the EC is that once the results was declared, we cannot recollect. You can only go to court.
Results
In
of
fact-
all polling stations were
well,
declared.
it doesn't matter.
All.
If it was it doesn't matter. If it's declared, you see.
So I can use only two.
Okay.
AC can use
So
only two police
you
stations
asked
to
him-
declare me a winner, and it stands until I go to court.
Yes.
So you-
You're a
you
lawyer.
asked-
You're not supposed to be
No,
speaking
that's
but,
what
like
you,
he
that.
but you asked
You're
that.
not supposed to be speaking like
no,
that.
you
No.
asked that he should not interrupt you.
Yes.
Please
He
don't.
interrupted me throughout.
Okay, so
He
you
stopped at the
also do a
center.
little for me, eh? Okay, so that is it. You see, for instance, you see when you go to the Okaikwe Central, it said that the returning officer mentioned that he was declaring without 31 polling stations. I am saying that we have to assume that the numbers from those polling stations will not change anything. Now, in fact, the best practice would be for him to say so.
Yes.
But if he doesn't say so, it doesn't negate the fact that we can check. We can easily check. You see, so the fact that he didn't say so, you can't say that because he didn't say so, that might not be the case. No, because we have to assume. And indeed, if he did anything wrong, he should be arrested. By now, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission should order for that person to be arrested because he did the wrong thing. Because he cannot come and be telling us that there were axes and there were machetes held on our neck, and that is why we did the wrong thing. If they did the wrong thing, because the Electoral Commission made us to believe that they were going to conduct the best elections, they were going to have the best security, and their people were competent. So if the same people are now coming to tell us that, we declare because we are under duress and all that, why should we believe that? You see, and of course, you see, like you said, when you put it to a while, who is supposed to determine that? Because if we can now go to some of the constituencies that we lost to get the returning officers to write to the EC and say that, yes, we also declare because we are under duress, would the EC chair now say that is going to recollect for all those? So, yes, so he should understand that for the same reason that we asked for forensic audit of the register, and he was on radio, he was on TV, everywhere saying that the CI-91 had a way of self-cleansing the register. And so there was no, yes, so in the same way, you see, so in the same way, when you are saying that if NDC is not afraid that they lost, they should now allow recollection, it is because we are also saying that the CI-127 also allows what should happen in the case of declared results. And so we are only holding on to the law. So he shouldn't tell us that it is because perhaps we are afraid that we lost the election, that's why we, and again, he also said that our supporters basically, yes, you see, I wanted to make that point very clear, that when I said that, I am not saying that, well, I ordered or I look, what I said was that for me, I don't see anything wrong. You supporters go to collection center.
If you
they
have
can
a
go.
national officer calling them to
It doesn't matter. I am saying that if we call, you see, I am not going to run away from
Even
that.
if it's going to,
They went there and begged
The police are supposed
bring
to. The police are
tension.
supposed to maintain order. That you see, maintaining order, you can't say that the only way to maintain the order is for the people not to go there. The people can go there and they have to maintain order. If those people who are supposed to maintain order fail in maintaining order, you don't blame the people who have gone there to go and watch the process. So I don't see anything wrong with that.
So the right now, Electoral Commission says they will not recognize the 9.
Well, that is wrong. That is wrong. If those results were declared, they have not. The Electoral Commission has not come out to punish any of their returning officers who declared those results.
Some of them have been declared.
Those are, you see, I issued a statement on behalf of my organization, Linsod, and I said that the results that were already declared can be challenged in court. That's the only thing. You wait for the process to elapse. Yes, and then you go to court. Those that were not declared, I have called for rerun because I don't trust the EC, I don't trust the pink sheets that are in the system, the pink sheets that the MPP is holding, the pink sheets, because you see, in the case of
rerun of the entire constituency.
Wait, I'm saying that in the case of Ablekumano, for instance, look, there's a pink sheet that EC provided that the numbers on the pink sheet do not match the numbers of the pink sheets that both MPP and NDC are holding, and then there are also pink sheets that were scanned on the phone of the PC.
Okay.
The PC. She brought a scanned pink sheets and came and show that these are the results. It's not showing the pink sheets. It said the pink sheets themselves were destroyed. So the point is that right now we don't know what is credible. We don't trust. Look, there's nothing wrong if we do not trust the system. They should do the right thing for us to trust, something that will be credible, something that all of us will have confidence in. And so I'm saying that the pink sheets are in the system because we doubted the Electoral Commission right from day one. We doubted because there are several MPP operatives over there, and they have been doing everything. Every Ghanaian could see that they were actually determined to cheat for MPP. And so right now, if we say we don't trust the pink sheets that they are holding, so for the areas that were not declared, the only thing is that go back, rerun the elections.
The entire constituency.
Yes, the entire constituencies of those constituencies that were not declared. The ones that were declared, those ones, they have made the terms of the CI 127. They can only be challenged in court. The ones that were not declared, unless we can be sure on the pink sheets. And for me, if I have my way, I don't trust the EC. I don't trust the pink sheets that are in the system. Look, I can tell you that
we ran only 5 police stations because that was only one.
Well, if those were where the controversies are,
come to the table. And let's see which ones you don't believe.
Then we
rerun that.
Which table? The table is IPAC, and there are people called on the EC to call IPAC. They refuse.
Have any
So which table?
official mandate.
So which table? Which table?
Okay.
There's no recollection. CI 127. There's nothing like that at all. And you are saying, so if there's any table where we can come and compromise and agree on the way forward, it should be IPAC. They are afraid to call IPAC, and you should also remember that at the press conference yesterday, the Electoral Commission, they were even afraid to take questions. Was that not the case?
Yeah,
why wouldn't they take questions and answer the questions? They were afraid because they are doing the bidding. They are still doing the bidding of an outgoing unpopular government. That is what they are doing. They want to steal some seats. That is it. They stole seats in 2020. And now they want to steal seats again, and it's not going to happen.
Okay.
Touching myself like this, you stole it.
Mr.
Johnson, lost.
And you killed
You
people over
take it
there.
to court and you lost.
And that's why always you tell us to go to court.
Your microphones are off, Mr. Jantua. Your microphones are off, Mr. Jantua.
I'm telling you so.
Gentlemen, your microphones are off. Mr. Jantua, it's your turn, please. The EC.
The microphones could be off, but I'm hearing them.
Yes. So can you speak?
So I'm not afraid to say that they have infiltrated the court. They always push us and think that we can't say this. If you say this, oh, you lawyers speaking like that, you lawyers speak. We all know. We have what they call, we have what the judgments that have come over the years. They have infiltrated the court. That's why every time they tell us run to the court. That is why the people, the youth of this country, they do not want to wait.
Ambulance force.
Want to wait until we are cheated, and then they will tell us to go to court, and the court will cheat, will validate the cheating for them. It won't happen.
All right, your point is made.
Yes.
Mr. Jantua, it's your turn. The Electoral Commission yesterday said that 9 constituencies.
Evidence. Some of the things the Electoral Commissioner is saying is hearsay that have been put in a report by her commissioners, and she's taking it as fact. In today's world, even in this election, what did we see people using? Videos everywhere. She claimed some of them were threatened with axes and what? Where's the videos to show that? Where's the evidence? Look, who are the stakeholders in this election? Who are?
The political parties and the electorate.
Political parties. Has she sat to talk to the political parties? for me, the first point of call was to call IPAC. First point of call.
Salifu mentions that the
Guys,
NDC has requested for
guys,
one. But
this is what we have got. This is the information we have got. Bring your information and let's see. And they will come and tell her ABCD here, ABCD here, ABCD here. Then in the end, they all come to a consensus. Those that have been declared, if you have a problem with it, go to court. Who devised that phrase, go to court? Who? Tell me now, who? Wasn't it the electoral commissioner herself? Wasn't it her? If you are not in agreement with the results that have come, go to court. So those that have been declared, where you find that there is opposition, CI 127 has a way talk about resolution. Yes. And the court is the only institution that can say A is A, B is B. This is what we should do. Those that weren't counted, and this is where, for me, one of the biggest challenges are. CI 127 also indicates that once an election is held and the officer, what's he called?
The returning officer.
The returning officer gives the results of that. One pink sheet is given to political parties. Another pink sheet is given is taken by them. The third pink sheet is posted on the polling station. Which one did you see any pink sheet on the polling station? How many polling stations had pink sheets? How many? Very few. Isn't that against the law? Did she talk about it? No, she didn't. She didn't talk about it. So far as I can see, she needs to talk with the political parties. Let everybody bring their challenges. Sit with them, go through with them with a fine-tooth comb before you come and give press conference. Because today, MPP is giving press conference, NDC is giving press conference, she too is giving press conference. Who are we supposed to believe? Do you
kindly allow Mr. Janton to make a submission?
Do you know that those constituencies where MPP seem to have given it to them, she's not saying anything about it. A lot of these are NDC 1 constituencies. Why? So she should be clear. She should be clear in the way she handles this. Yes, she's on her way out. She herself said it is finished. Didn't she?
But this is not the first time she said it is finished.
I said she said it is finished.
So the time she delivered the register to the political party, she said it is finished, and she brought a gavel and actually hit the table with it. And then, so this is the second time she was saying.
And the presidential one, what did she say?
It is finished.
It is finished. What does that mean?
So, I think it's something she.
It is finished.
I think when she performs a certain task,
in her phrase that it is finished, do the right thing.
She also mentioned 6,000.
Do the right thing. Look, the what do you call it? The Afrobarometer. What did they say?
That the confidence in the Electoral Commission was waning.
Exactly. That should be a point of call. Where they do what? They build confidence within use this particular situation to build confidence within the people. But people don't trust the Electoral Commission, unfortunately. Because that perception that they are prepared to help the MPP is there. And you need to clear that perception. It would be very, very, very bad for Jim Mensah to leave with that perception, in people's minds.
Still lingering.
They should do the right thing.
And so you disagree with this position taken by the commission?
I said speak with political parties. That's the first point of call. Call the political parties and speak to them. And it was Jean who said IPAC meetings will be televised. Televise it. In fact, if you want the people to really know what is going on, go to IPAC, televise it. The people will get the raw truth.
And make their own judgment.
Exactly. Make their own judgment. Make their own judgment. I don't understand why she's denying IPAC. I don't understand why. Her appealing to
the president-elect and the president as well as Dr. So the president-elect, and then Dr. George Akufu-Dampare.
Look, she should leave the president and the president-elect out of the equation.
Why?
Not unless she is saying, Mr. President and Mr. President-elect, talk to your people for them not to amass at the collation center. But she is not saying that.
That's what she said.
That is not what she said. That's not what she said. She's appealing for security.
Senior, we can't take that risk.
Just a minute.
Our people will go.
Just a minute. She's appealing for security. But that security should be directed at Vice President Baumia and Dampare. Why?
He's a chairman. He's
a
chairman
chairman of the police council. He is still vice president of this country. They are still in power and still vice president of this country.
So wait, we
please,
cannot go to.
Let him land in a minute. Then you can come.
It can't be finished because we still have a president and a vice president. And the vice president is the chairman of police council. The chairman of the police council should talk to security. Look, when AGI, and I'm part of AGI, when we met Dampare, he indicated to us that nobody before, present, and after should even try and do anything untoward. But didn't you see in a lot of the polling stations the police milling with the crowd? I didn't understand how an electoral officer is announcing the results and people have surrounded him. Shouldn't they give him protection?
Yes.
They should have given him protection. Did they? Was it?
The EC was complaining that the police did not provide security to some of their officers when they were
why?
under threat.
Declaration.
And why?
So they should blame the police.
And why?
Why should we be bothered?
And why? Because we saw her have a meeting with Dampare,
Yes.
and that presupposes that they have a good relationship
Yes.
and they can work together. So why? So let's ask Dampare,
Yeah.
those police people who didn't give protection to the electoral commission, why?
Okay.
Yes. They shouldn't. They shouldn't
You
say
see,
because
so
of that.
we are
declare.
Usain Bolt is in the last lap, and he has to get to the finish line. Let's do things right.
Okay.
Let's do things right.
Yes,
Now,
you wanted to make a quick
We
interjection.
cannot go to court when some seats were not even declared. For instance, I have known of. There was no declaration. They besieged the place, burnt the car of our candidate. They threatened to burn Tepa Senior High School. Then they had to flee.
All these allegations.
That is one. Two, so there was no declaration from the EC. Again, when you go to Ahafano Southwest, they killed one of our boys.
Oh, really?
And they bent the coalition center.
So we killed one.
So the coalition, yeah, you killed
against
one.
Against eight in
person.
2020.
No life deserves to be lost.
I know.
let me
because of
ask.
I know.
elections.
This killing, this
Yes.
thing that is not
Yes.
even true.
Let
so
me ask, why, when the ballot papers were being taken for the elections,
Yeah.
where did they keep it?
The armory, police armory.
So these ballot papers, why were they kept where they were kept?
Oh well.
Why couldn't it go back to the armory?
They say that usually they would have the
They
copy
will
of
do the
pink
collation
sheets,
after the
pink
collation,
sheets.
because
So
you see,
we shouldn't worry.
as for us in 2020,
You do the
we didn't-
collation and you leave it in the school.
No.
They'll take the.
They
pink
will
sheets
later
and
take
all.
it. They will take the pink sheets. The pink sheet will be taken. The boxes will be sent to the police station
In due
for
course.
1 year, so that
What
within
was
that
kept
period-
at what was
No,
kept
so
at what was
so
kept at the
so
school?
The Kwashiman school.
Yes,
Yes,
what was kept
That
there?
was the
So-
collation center.
Yes, but what
yes,
was kept
but
there?
the ballot papers and the materials were there.
Why?
So
The thing is that you take the collation center, you go to the collation center with the ballot boxes at the collation center.
Yes.
So if there are any dispute, they can open and count.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
After
So
declaration
after,
is done, then the parties leave. Then later they pick everything, then they send it.
What we
but
don't
in
know-
the course of the thing, the NDC invited their people
Later
so
when?
so
a day after
what we
or
do not
something.
know
That's
is
what
a
is done.
time frame within which
They will move. Yes.
the ballot boxes to
Now,
the police. We don't know
now in
the time
times
frame.
in times of challenge,
Yeah.
in times with the kind of election we had, that should have been a fifth sense they should have activated.
As in how
They
to
should have
move
been
to
able-
secure
they
the
should
boxes.
they should be able to say, this election is on a
The
nice
stakes are
edge.
high.
The stakes are high. the possibility with the kind of masses coming here, the possibility is that they can cause harm. Let's take the boxes and secure it in the police station, period.
Of Ariantua,
Okay.
even
Make
if
it
they,
clear
even
in
if
the
they burn
transportation of it.
everything, as you said earlier, even if they burn everything there, we still have the original
final.
pink sheets.
Who has?
All political
electoral-
parties, because at
electoral
the
commission.
polling
And the
station, no,
EC.
all the political parties, because at the polling station, before they move the ballot boxes,
So you all scan.
have one
You are
that
talking about- you are
send to
talking
your
about
own
this on
polling
paper.
station.
All right.
I know
what is on paper.
Depending
You are
on-
not part of the
depending on
electoral-
I'm telling you that there are fake pink sheets.
Depending on whether the figures balance from
Yes,
equally-
so I'm telling you that there are
what will
fake
happen
pink
is
sheets.
that what will happen? That's why when we were doing the collation at Tesam, we came with our laptop. NBC came with their laptops. Then they will mention that polling station. Which pink sheet do you have? The NDC will bring their pink sheet.
Yes.
They will look at the numbers on it
Yes.
and
Why were you
everything.
checking?
Don't
Why were you
the
checking?
pink-
I'm
don't the
coming.
pink sheets come with codes?
The code. I'm saying that
Okay.
if I vote in the Adum Sport polling station in Asawase constituency, after the vote, my polling agent over there will have to get one
Pink sheet.
signed pink sheet
Correct.
to be sent to our private
Yes.
collation center
Yes.
before this one is moved there.
Yes.
So that is what we scan
Yes.
in our laptop on our laptops.
We don't
So
know.
what-
We can't know for sure that that is all you
I'm
scanned.
coming.
All right.
I'm
That's
coming.
what I'm telling you.
That's
There
the
are
reason.
fake-
That's the reason.
You have to admit that there are
Oh.
fake pink sheets.
So that's the
Okay.
reason when we're doing it at Tesano.
Yes.
We ask NDC.
Yes.
When the EC mentions a polling station.
Yes.
The NDC, they will ask you, what do you have there? What is the serial number? They will mention the serial number and everything. What are the figures you mention? MPP, what do you have? They mention. EC will also
If they
mention
match,
this.
there
If
shouldn't be any
they
problem.
match the
If they
three,
don't match,
then they will
what
say
happens?
that this one is certified.
don't match-
Then
Okay.
if they don't match, you flag it. That
They
is the
won't
reason.
flag it.
The EC will flag
So
it.
if it says I'm accepting
I'm
it, what do we
coming.
what do we
That is
do?
the reason you saw Madojiri. They
am-
flagged three.
Okay.
And because
telling you
three
that
of them,
I am-
three of them
The
had issues.
system doesn't work as perfect as what is making us believe.
That is understandable.
Yes.
Even though it's stated in the CI, there are times where flaws
they
come
shoot
in.
us.
So,
They
When
shoot
they
okay,
were
but
drinks,
Are we not having problems right now?
Stations
now
in
we have
Sawam.
exhausted the subject. It's
Yeah.
fine. Let's quickly. We are done. We are just. So I'm just going to give a minute for you to touch on the oral operation recover all loot, the team that has been constituted to recover the alleged loot. I will just pick your thoughts briefly and then I'll call it today. So very briefly, it is your team that has constituted that. Is it
Well,
really,
it's a-
is
it's
it really
a-
necessary?
Yeah, well, you see, it's a campaign promise.
Okay.
It's in the manifesto, and Ghanaians have voted massively for John Mahama. It means they have endorsed it.
Okay.
Although you know, we can always dissect manifestos and want to try to see what people believed in, what they voted for, and all of that. But they would have said the same thing because you see, once it's in the manifesto and you have the overwhelming support, the assumption everywhere, every political process is to say that all that you want to do, the people support it. Okay. And so for me, and I have received several calls. People thought that for people who know me and think that I have done some work for this party, especially during this process, this campaign, they were calling me thinking that maybe I'm John Mahama himself, and they are telling me that, hey, if you don't jail these people, so there are several people calling. People are interested in that. And so it is the beginning of that process. I don't see anything wrong with it. Okay. And especially, but most importantly, because it's a campaign promise, it's in the manifesto, and then the president has been voted for, the candidate has been voted for massively. It means that Ghanaians want him to carry that forward. So if he's doing it, I don't have any problem with
All
that.
right.
Yeah.
Now, three things. One is that you were part of those who were pushing for the affirmative action law to be promulgated.
Yes.
And now it is it is working.
It's not working yet.
No,
it's been passed, but
exactly,
it's not working
it's been
yet.
passed. It's been passed, and it's supposed to be to start this year with 30%.
They need to have the legal instrument.
Yes,
to make
with
it
30% appointment. Now the appointment is devoid of a female. So that is one thing. You are telling us that you have a first female vice president, and we heard that Joyce Bauer Muntari is saying that she will not even be chairing the economic management team. So she's been sidelined. Then the second one is that now women have been sidelined in the ORA.
No.
Two is that when you check the ORA, the individuals in the ORA, their credibility is in question.
Oh,
For
really?
instance,
Which of
the
them?
first one, Okujeto Ablakwa, we all know him.
As
What why?
We all know him when he was, according to Martin Amidu, he was begging for him to pay isophoton an illegality.
Oh.
Again,
So for your 8 years, what did you do to him?
If you check Domelevo, someone who forged his date of birth.
But that has been proven. It's been taken to court. It's been proven to be untrue.
Which one is untrue?
Yeah.
So for 8 years,
Which one is untrue?
you are making
He
his
was 62. He was born in
No.
Kumasi. He was born
No,
this
I
way.
won't.
You are vilifying these people. You are vilifying these people on radio.
Again.
Publicly on radio.
You
What did you
cannot-
do? What did you do if
that
you think
cannot
this is
stand.
about them for 8 years?
Especially
So
when
this is someone
especially when
who was appointed when former President Mahama lost elections on the 20th.
and how is that a crime?
I didn't say it's a crime.
Yeah, that's so that was the problem.
So wait,
You
so
say
how-
that. Why didn't you appoint me before? That is one.
But are you people also appointing now?
I think-
Doing promotions all over the place.
It's Alifo, please. So
That
you
aura.
can have your other
That-
issues,
that-
but I
that-
think
that aura.
those grounds,
Yes,
I
that
mean,
aura.
they have little left.
Don't
to stand on.
assassinate their
It's
character
only-
here.
yes,
That's
it's
not
only-
right. It's not right.
only, as my people will say, Emma Kamfo. They are only using it to tarnish the images of people because you see they don't have any locus, they don't have any legislative.
You haven't even started and you are shaking so much.
What they are supposed to do is to pick only information. So today, if I go there and say that Awal is corrupt or this person is corrupt, they will write it. I will not be surprised. Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa will come after 7th and mention people's names and say that they are people that they will go and investigate.
Yeah, and they will
then they will
investigate them.
use that to buy time because they have 25 promises that they said within 120 days they will do. So they wanted us to take that into discussion so that we'll be discussing this. In 2008, you said more than this. You presented cases, you said people were corrupt and so on. You
Okay.
couldn't jail a single soul.
So you think this will not
wait.
amount
It's
to
an
anything?
We
exercise
are
in
resetting
futility.
the system.
Kindly repeat that.
The
You said
system
what's-
that you were set.
Exercise in
Kindly let him
futility.
make the point.
It's
Yeah.
an exercise in futility.
Okay, we'll see.
Mr. Jantua.
We'll see. I know
Operation
you
Oral.
still have confidence in your courts, but we'll see.
$58 million is in a hole.
The
What's
cathedral.
That? What's that?
Yeah.
Apart from $58 million being in a hole, the quantum of buildings that have been destroyed, what is that? Cathedral, isn't it causing financial loss to the state?
It's not because you even mentioned a hole.
Wait, please.
You mentioned a hole because
Yeah.
something has been done.
The whole.
The whole. Can you imagine?
It's not the foundation. Can't you see foundation? You are only saying hole, but you could see iron rods
What
there.
kind of foundation?
You could see iron
What
rods.
kind of foundation? What kind of foundation? And I hope and I wish that the team go and question President Akufo-Addo for the cathedral. They are gathering information, aren't they?
Yes.
They are gathering information.
And we'll give it to the respective bodies that
Give to
can
the
investigate.
respective bodies. I don't see anything wrong with it. The people have spoken, and the people expect the cathedral to be investigated. I don't have anything wrong with it. The people who the president has, has chosen, do they have locus in terms of ability? Do they have the wherewithal to investigate it? Yes. Okujeto Ablakwa, hasn't he been investigating and telling us some of the corrupt things that have been going on? Domlovo, isn't he an ex-auditor general? What do you call it?
Kofi Boache.
Kofi Boache, isn't he a police officer who has been part and look,
He was cleared as well.
look. If we are to talk about, listen, if we are to talk about the other side on the MPP side, we won't finish today.
We don't have any.
Let's in terms of individuals. You're trying to tell me that is why they are gathering information. That is why they are gathering information. They need to gather the information. At this material moment, people are saying, please,
Can him make his point, please?
at this material moment, people are saying, but we have the OSP, we have this, we have that, we have this. Why isn't the president-elect giving it to them? It's a question of trust. Let me tell you. The OSP, the complaints they've received between 2022 to 2024, 419. Convictions, 0%. In terms of recovery, they've only been able to recover above 3 million cedis between 2023 and 2024. Who is in power? Isn't it this current government?
Yes.
This corruption, who is it perceived to have done? Isn't this current government? So if you hand it over to the security services that are there, how do you know they won't infiltrate and make sure they adulterate the information that they get? Because they have questions to answer. Okay. To even start off with, Kenoforiya Test Company, enterprise, are they not responsible for all the insurance of government properties? Who was doing it first? Was the SIC? Mm-hmm. Is it SIC government? How come that it is enterprise who are doing it? How come? Shouldn't we ask questions there? There are quite a lot of questions to be answered, and that's why Ghanaians have voted overwhelmingly to make sure that the right thing is done.
All right. Thank you very much. On that note, we end today's edition, or this week's edition of the Weekly Review segment here on the Morning Star on Star 103.5 FM. I was joined in the studio by Kwame Jantwa, Esquire, member of the CPP, Awal Mohammed, he is a public relations officer of the YEA, and then Eric,
formerly with the NDC,
and then
formerly with the NDC, and
then Eric Alimpo Esquire, he's also a member of the communication team of the NDC. Thank you, thank you, gentlemen, for joining me, here on the Morning Star, and I wish you a Merry Christmas in advance.
You didn't give us the usual.
I owe you a lot. All right. Nanama